Nothing from Petros? Okay, cool. Then we're going to move along to the next segment. Very excited about this, ladies and gents. Please start the clapping. Please start the screaming for two gentlemen who I'm looking forward to chatting to for the next 15 to 20 minutes. The provincial head coach, Eastern's senior men's side, Richard Das Neves. Please give it up for Richard. There we go. And joining him is Warriors batsman Lesiba Ngoepe. Richard and Lesiba, please join me if you can. Lovely stuff.
Afternoon, Dalen. How you doing?
Good, Richard. Lucky to see you. You look very relaxed. You look very chilled out. Lesiba, how's it, brother? Lesiba, do you want to pop your video on for us, please? If the people want to see who you are, they want to know you. We're going to be friends after this.
I'm pretty sure it's on.
Don't worry.
No.
There we go. Magic.
See now,
I got you there. Magic. Well, you see, the coach was here to assist the player to put the video on, but the player was here to help the coach execute during the match. You see, it's all about combinations and relationships. So what I'm going to do when we're going to double it up with both of you. First of all, thank you so much for joining us. Eastern's cricket family, can you please give Richard and Lesiba a warm round of applause? You can turn your mics off. I want them to hear you clapping because they're at Willamore Park and they split into two. So there's lots of love, there's lots of passion. Julius, if you can, turn your mics off. Turn it on at least, just so that they can hear the love and the cheers that is there for them. Okay, there's no one there. Woo! Yeah. Okay, so before we go anywhere, gentlemen, I'll break it up into two so that we can chat to both of you. Richard, first up, as the coach, please tell us, who is Richard Das Neves? What's the story with such an interesting surname as well?
Yeah, thanks, Dalen, and it's a pleasure to be here, and thanks to Julius for all the hard work he's doing behind the scenes in the Easterns region. Yeah, Richard Das Neves, head coach of Easterns cricket. I'm going into my 4th season here, so we've managed to turn things around a little bit here and had some good success over the last couple of years. So yeah, the players. I've got to credit the players the most. They've put all the hard work on the field. And yeah, the last couple of years, as I say, have been good. We've got 3 trophies in the bag, which is good for us. And obviously trying to bring a little bit of success back to the region. Pity Lesiba can't be with us. He was part of the Easterns program this side for many years, and then headed down to the Eastern Cape for the last few years. But he's obviously still a bit part of the furniture at Willamore Park.
Okay, lovely stuff. Very, very exciting. I love the fact that there was a big smile from Lesiba's side when you mentioned him, and the big role that he played while he was part of the furniture. You know, when you're part of the furniture, that means you're leaving training late, you're coming to training early, you just want to train all the time and put in all the hard yards. I want to get to those trophies in a bit, Richard. Before we get there, Lesiba, your journey so far, please inform the coaches and the coordinators.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks, Dylan, for having me. Thank you, Julius, for inviting me. Yeah, I'm obviously from the East Rand. Born and bred in Vosloorus, the township, one of the townships in the East Rand. Ventured to Cope Peak under 18, and then I made my way down to Cape Town actually for. Spent most of I learned all my proud product of the Eastern's cricket, and hopefully maybe in the near future, you just never know, might just come back home. So yeah, that's me in a nutshell.
Lovely stuff. I like how you threw to that possible return. You know, that's like at the end of the movie. There could be a sequel. We don't know. We're not sure. I'm a Cape Town based boykie, so I definitely remember your stay with the Cobras. It was good having you here, bruh. We were sad to see you leave, but now you're not here and you're not by Richard. You're somewhere else. So I feel like we're both losing out here, Richard. And then Richard, just to focus on those 3 trophies that you mentioned, that's a big deal. Because obviously that doesn't come overnight. That's hard work in different spaces, in different formats, and just making sure that everything's ticking from from your junior structures and filtering right through into the senior ones?
Yeah, so we've been fortunate that we've had quite a few players progress through our system in the last few years. We've also produced quite a few players that have moved up, which is good. So not only playing for the Titans, but also around the country. We've got a couple at the, somebody like Lesiba who's playing at the Warriors. We've got Mangi, who's also one of our production line in the past. That's now with the Dolphins. And in recent times, we've got a couple of guys now with the Lions, and Imran Manak has just moved down to the Cobras to join you down there. So it's obviously a lot of hard work has gone into it behind the scenes, and a lot of planning and prep. But I guess it all came together with a bit of a vision, and as I say, I've got to credit the players. They've put in the hard yards, and they've put in the performances on the field, which sort of breeded that success into creating a winning culture. So our challenge now is sort of to sustain it and to try and keep it going with a fairly new team coming in this year. So that's our new challenge, obviously from a coaching staff and a general environment here in the East. But we certainly have a little bit more of a winning culture going. So that's half the battle.
I love that you speak about culture and winning culture. It's so important to have that within your cricket structures, because it just runs down. If it's across men's and women's, juniors to seniors, it's important because that vibe is there. To jump on that point and take it to you, Lesiba, how much and how important is that culture as a player, given that you are speaking to coaches and coordinators?
Very important in the team, because that it sort of leads the direction, obviously from the top, starts with the coaches, the management, even the whole setup, like in the whole administrative side of things, so that everyone is sort of directed into one common goal. I think it's very important to obviously have that, so that we know that everyone we gelled well, and we're going to the same direction, and everyone's got an idea of what the main goal and the main purpose of us leading to become a team. So yeah, it's very important.
I'm gonna stick with you, Lesiba, before I jump back to Richard. And I'm always fascinated with this, even though it might be cliche. Taking that jump as a youngster, coming through the school system, and then making your way into the senior provincial side, into franchise sides. What was that step like, and all the sacrifices that went into it? Because sometimes people think that it happens overnight because you're a talented player, but we all know that's not the case.
Yeah. No, it was a big sacrifice on my side. I was very fortunate, obviously, with the coaches that I've had through the ranks, where they believed in me and they sort of like nurtured me. And, so sometimes you also need that, which is why these sort of programs are quite important. So obviously I played from under 9 till under 18 at Easterns, and it was quite a big jump immediately from like under 18 co-quick into the semi-professional setup, because you're starting to play with men, from being a schoolboy, you're starting to engage with grown-up men, people with families, and so there's a lot at stake, and also you're also trying to find your feet in that environment. So it's quite a big step, but it's you as a professional, you also got to realize you have to learn quickly, and and make sure that you grow quickly, and you move forward from there.
That's well said, Lesiba. I'm busy smiling because everything that you say is so concise. You can see you're a top order batsman, just making sure that everything is concise. It's to the T. It's well planned. Like if you were a telemarketer and you were selling me funeral plans, I would buy it, bruh. I'd be like, yes, I'm very happy about this product. And then Richard, to you, you're still very young yourself. I assume you played a bit as well. And then moving into a coaching role, it's a big change. And then also working with individuals from different backgrounds, youngsters coming through the school system, and then also the senior statesmen who have been there for a while, all these different personalities, just managing that and making sure that it filters into results on the cricket field must be quite a big task.
Yes, yeah. Thank you for calling me still young. I feel like I'm still quite young. I sort of retired quite early from playing the game. I stopped playing when I was 27. But played a little bit in Gauteng and for the Lions. So I actually remember in one of Lesiba's earlier games, I actually played against him, at Willamore Park. I remember him hitting me once or twice over my head, if I'm not mistaken. So might have to catch Lesiba in the nets at some stage in his career to return the favor with a flicker, I think. But yeah, so trying to balance it all together and trying to create that environment. I think if I can give a message to the coaches and the coordinators, even at KFC mini cricket level, is really that's what cricket's about. It's about the team, even though it's very individualized in terms of your stats and your records, and you're trying to score runs and you're trying to save your own career later on in life and whatever. But as long as the team always comes first, you'll always go home happy. If you worry too much about your own individual success all the time, you're going to fail a lot more in this game than you're going to succeed. And if it comes down to your team performance and focusing on the team and enjoying it out there with your mates and trying to create memories, then more often than not you're going to go home happy. So that's a real big thing that I can sort of throw onto the coordinators and the coaches at junior levels, is that really drive that team culture and team first, because then you're going to start producing good human beings and not selfish individuals or people that are only worried about their own games. So, but yeah, to sort of answer your question, there a lot goes into it, and a lot of thought and process goes into creating a sort of a culture that can be sustainable behind the scenes, as well as then trying to produce your cricketers as well, to produce them for the next level, because ultimately we at the sort of high end of it, and we need to produce cricketers for franchise cricket and for the Proteas down the line. That's ultimately what our jobs are. If you win a few trophies along the line, that's a bonus. But we need to produce players, and that's sustainable for our future of the game.
Lovely stuff. I like how calm and composed you are, Richard. It's signs of a good coach. But I just want to find out, like, what's the stress factor? What gets you ticking? You're working with men here who sometimes don't listen. The plan is to block out the day we are going to draw, but then the middle order decides, you know what, I'm going to take a hack or two to cow corner. Like, what's the thing that you stress about most, or the toughest part of the job that you've experienced so far?
I think earlier you spoke about you come from retreat. I don't come from retreat, but my hairline's also on its way back. I think that's from being from getting into the coaching game. I can't say that I was a fast bowler and ran into the wind, and that's the fact of my hair. But it's more from the coaching side of things. So there are some stressful times, and there's a lot of pressures from different avenues in terms of coaching, from board level or from administration level or within your own team for results or to produce players. So there are a few stresses. I think the important thing and what we try and do is really just stay in the moment and focus in on ultimately what you need to do, and if you can control the controllables, then hopefully the rest will fall into play. Obviously, you've got to look after a few factors, and one of our big things is team first, and look after the environment, look after the change room, because that's where you come back into, and that's who you're accountable to. So trying to create that little family away from home. Your cricketing family, you spend a lot of time with the guys, so you want to enjoy their company, and they want to enjoy your company. I think if you have that, then those sort of tight games might just go in your favor.
Lovely stuff. Well said. I hope the KFC mini cricket and coaches and coordinators are taking notes. Some valuable notes to take over here from Richard Das Neves, ladies and gentlemen. And then as we move to you, Lesiba, as a batsman, I like the personal touch. So you can give me, there's times in your career when you go, this is the goals for the season. Sometimes it doesn't go well. Sometimes it goes well. Give me a few career highlights, but specifically batting performances, and then moments where the team did well. Feel free to give as many as possible, but ones that stick out for you.
The most recent one that sticks out for me is actually playing at Willamore Park. around March this year in the Momentum Cup game against the Titans, and it was quite an important game for us. I think we were chasing about 330, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it's quite an important game. It was quite special for me having my ex-teammates from Vosloorus there in the crowd in the stands, even though it wasn't packed, and my family members were there, which they don't really come often, they don't see me often playing, especially live, so it was quite a special game for me. I think I got about 79 or 80, around there, chasing quite a big score. It was quite special for me because it was more of a team performance as well, because everyone contributed in their little way. Overall, it was just a special night, for me, because it's where I started my cricket. It's where I remember when I was 9 years old, playing provincial cricket. We were standing in the middle of the pitch there, and I think it was Greg Palmer, one of our coaches under 9. He's like, one day, maybe some of you guys might play on this field. Those sort of moments. You look back on, and then you're there in the middle, and you think back and you think how much of a long way you come. And it was quite special for me. Of course, there's other performances, like big performance where you get your hundreds and all that, but that one specifically is quite a big highlight for me because it was back home with family around, friends, and it was a big, important game for the team, which we managed to get over the line and with like 2 balls to spare.
Lovely stuff. You showed some big match temperament, brother. Your friends came from Vosloorus to watch you play. Your family's there. They hardly come. You're chasing a big total. You got family, friend pressure. You got team pressure as well. You stepped up to the plate. So well done with that. And then if we look at your toughest bowlers to face, I mean, it can be spin or pace. Can give you a top 5 if you like. And the reasons for that battle happening each time you play against them.
Sure. It's a tough one, that. Look, there's some very talented bowlers around the country.
It's okay, Lesiba, you can tell them that it was me, but it's fine.
Expose him, Richard. Expose him.
Coach, I do actually remember the game coach mentioned. I think I got a quick fire 40, but he managed to get me out. I think around in the 40s, I hit one straight to long off.
Lovely stuff.
That was quite young age at that time. But I would say it's guys like, obviously Chris Morris doesn't play much anymore, but I think last season when he played a 4-day cricket, I found him quite tough because he's quite tall and he bowls a consistent length. It's guys like that, and your I would say like a Shamsi, because I find him quite difficult to pick at times, because he's a left armer, because you don't get a lot of Chinamans in the country, so it's guys like that where I find quite challenging. I had to like really watch the ball, and obviously it proves how successful also they are in their craft. I mean, they're playing for South Africa, playing international cricket, shows what quality they are as well.
Lovely stuff. So we've got Shamsi, Modest, and then top of the list, that's Richard Das Neves. We're gonna leave it at that.
Definitely up there.
He's in your pocket, coach. He's in your pocket. And then, coach, just moving to you, your coaching career. Obviously, it's very difficult making that shift to being a player and then coaching. I say tough just because of the mindset where you have to look after the flock now instead of just individual performance to contribute to the team. Along the way, have you had any specific mentors or any coaches online whose audio books you like to listen to, whose books you like to read, or documentaries just to draw some inspiration or some guidance from?
Yeah, so I always say I think a lot of players that go into coaching afterwards are generally a combination of all the coaches that they've had in the past. You sort of pick a few things that you liked from certain coaching methods, and then you sort of develop your own sort of way. So I think from a cricketing perspective, Grant Morgan, who's now at the he's assistant coach for Scotland. He was with the Dolphins for a while, and he's been around in cricketing structures in South Africa for many years. He's a big mentor of mine, and then there's pieces of various coaches, as I said, your Ray Jennings, who actually coached at Eastons. I was involved with him at junior level. Your Dave Nosworthy's, who from an administrative point of view, I certainly learned a lot from an organization structural kind of vibe. He was excellent. So you try and sort of mend your, and then put your own sort of imprint on that and sort of forge your own way. But then I'm a big football fan, so you also Alex Ferguson and how he nurtures young talent and coming through into the first team and sort of mixing that good balance of youth with your exceptional talent that he may go and buy. That sort of effect, I definitely look at trying to do that or trying to focus on that route. From a football, I'd hate to say it as a big Man United fan, but Jurgen Klopp is doing a great job at Liverpool. He's almost doing the same thing as what Fergie did for many years. But hopefully that slows down now over the next year or two, and maybe Ole Gunnar Solskjaer can start putting his finger there at United and sorting out a few things. Giving me sleepless nights at the moment in our team environment. We're quite big with our soccer in our team environment, and we got a lot of fantasy football. So there's a lot of fantasy talk around our team as well, just which adds to the culture.
Beautiful stuff. I love that. And yes, United making everyone sleepless these days, even if you're not a fan. And then Lesiba, from your side, we're gonna wrap it up shortly. You guys have been awesome so far. I wish I could talk to you all day, and I'm sure a lot of the coaches and coordinators too. Any specific mentors or coaches or players who've just had a good positive influence in terms of on and off field action your side?
Yeah, there are. So two guys that really stand out for me would be Jeff Toyana, who is currently the assistant coach of the Titans. Obviously, had a lot of success with the Lions, and another special guy right now is actually in this call, Julius Mazia, who he was a mentor of mine from like a young age, from 9 till probably like around my early high school days. That's one guy I could actually really trust as a young kid growing up. Even though like I was from Volkswagen, he was from Duduza. It's quite obviously a father figure to me in the cricket fraternity. Whereas growing up, obviously Volkswagen wasn't really well known for their cricket, but then he just took me under his wing during my provincial years at a young age, and obviously growing up. Getting into the professional setup, Jeffrey Toyana and all those guys. A few teammates that I also looked up to, your Mang. Those guys also played a very positive influence in my life and pushing me and getting me to where I am right now, and obviously aspiring for more. Because they were doing it, trying to play professional cricket. It was mainly guys that were around me, and obviously my biggest influence is obviously my parents. Like that's my biggest motivation. My parents, even though they don't know much about cricket, but they've always supported me. So it's basically those people around me.
Fantastic. Okay, let's see, Richard. We're gonna wrap it up. Before we do, it's a twofold question, Richard. We can kick it off with you. One, I should have opened with how's lockdown, but I didn't want to ask you the first question that everyone's been asking you, so I'll leave it for the end. How's the lockdown management thing going? You're back into training now, and then the second one would be just your message to the KFC mini cricket coaches and coordinators.
Yeah, so lockdown has been good. Obviously tough during the hard lockdown in those early few weeks. I've got a 3-year-old, so it was really tough trying to keep him busy at home. My wife is a teacher, so she was doing a lot of online teaching. So me running around with him downstairs trying to keep him quiet while she's teaching upstairs was really challenging. But nonetheless, I don't think ever in our lives are we going to say that for 35 days non-stop you're going to be locked in a house. So we tried as a family to actually try and enjoy it, and because you won't get that time back again. And then down the line it's gotten quite busy now. The last sort of 6-7 weeks we've started training in small groups and one-on-one trainings and stuff like that. Nice. So it's starting to get a little bit busy, and I think today they've officially released the fixtures. So we know that we're starting in January, and we're able to play a few warm-up games in November and December. I know the franchise is Lesiba, and then we'll get going early November. And obviously our role at senior provincial level, we've got to have those players ready in case a call-up happens to the Titans, or for internal games and all that kind of stuff. So that's quite exciting. At least there's a bit of light at the end of the tunnel, because the players are itching to get back onto the field. So that's quite lekker for us and enjoyable. We're enjoying. I speak with my support staff. We do a lot of throwdowns and throwing, and we obviously. Our work ethic is quite high with the players, and during lockdown we would never say that after a while we were saying, shit, we actually want to get back out there throwing balls again. We miss throwing balls. In the heat in the middle of summer, we sometimes thinking this is too much. We need a couple of days off, but we're actually wanting to get out, and we're really enjoying throwing balls and working on games of the players. So that's quite nice. And then your second question, so just a message to the young coordinators. Really, we in jobs because of the work that they do, the volunteer work that they do, creating pipeline dreams for the players and spreading the game amongst the masses and amongst all the schoolboys and the players. I mean, I heard earlier in the conversation, 20th of February, I actually made I don't know if you can see my board here at the back. I actually made a note, 5,000 mini cricket games happening on the same day. That's awesome. That must be a record, not only in the country but maybe even in the world, for junior cricket or that sort of level. So my message is them, just keep doing what you're doing. Just keep it active, keep the guys going, keep producing players, keep the sort of stimulus within the young generation, keep that fire burning. We face a lot of challenges in cricket. We all know that. We all read in the media and we all see that. We do have challenges. There's no doubt about that. But if we can keep the next generation believing that there's a future in the game, then we're on track and we're winning. So just keep doing what you're doing.
Love it, coach. Love it, coach. Don't go yet, coach. I'm going to formally say goodbye. Very, very insightful, very inspiring as well. And then from your side, Lesiba? I think he's frozen. Oh man, has he frozen?
Sorry, can you please? So it froze a little bit, man. Can you just please?
No stress. You must remember, you're a top order batsman. You can't have ADD. You must focus. Stay one ball at a time. 6 balls in an over. I'm joking. I was just gonna say, one, how was lockdown? Did you manage? Are you back in the nets? You're hitting some balls, and then two, your message to the coaches and coordinators of the KC Mini Cricket Program.
Yeah, worked out perfectly because I managed to go home.
Nice.
The longest time I've actually it's in 10 years, so it was quite special for me. I mean, spending time with family, which is quite priceless because I'm always away from home. Yeah, a lot of learnings during the lockdown about myself. I mean, started studying. I was trying to keep fit, obviously, even though with the restrictions and all that. But now I'm back here. We've been training for the past month and a bit now, so pretty keen and excited to get going. And so obviously looking forward to this. So this next quite jam-packed with about 6 4-day games, so quite excited for that. And the message to I just want to tell them how important they are to the young kids' lives. And I mean, I come from a setup like I remember my first one at Willowmore Park. As well as me to just come there. They don't. I think they must just realize how important they are to these kids, and some of this might just not only just be about cricket, but in a lot of life lessons to be learned outside of cricket. So keep striving to get more kids playing cricket and make a difference. In all of the children. So you guys are doing a great job, and we really appreciate you guys.
Lesiba Ngoepe and Richard Das Neves, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. I really enjoyed this, and I know the coaches and coordinators did as well. Good luck with the season, on and off the field. Strength, health, and nothing but positive vibes for both of you. And Lesiba, if you can take anything out of this, is that Richard has you in his pocket. He is the guy who's always going to get you out. Okay.
And just one last thing, Lesiba keeps talking about that he misses home and that he wants to come home. We can always make a plan for that to happen.
There we go.
You've got my number.
The transfer market is live, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see what happens in the next 24 hours. Thanks so much, Richard. Thanks so much, Lesiba. You guys are awesome.
Thank you.
Take care.